Dear students, this is your chapter number 17, The Revolt of 1857. This chapter is very important and very interesting. The Revolt of 1857 is considered as one of the most important chapters in the history of India. The Revolt of 1857 is also regarded as the first war of independence. It is considered as the first war of independence. So let us start with the chapter. By the end of this chapter, you will know the answers for the following questions. How the British took control of India. The injustice of Indian had to face under the British rule. The incidents which led to the revolt of 1857. And the name of the prominent leaders of this revolt. First of all, how Britishers took control of India. Second, there was some kind of injustice in India. People, they faced under the British rule. Some kind of inequalities they faced. So then there are some incidents, some events which led to the revolt of 1857, which forced people to go against the Britishers. Then at last the name of the leaders. Who were the leaders? Who were the prominent active leaders? Those who were involved in this revolt 1857. Students, this is Britain and this is India. Now you can see here very clearly that Britain is smaller as compared to India, but still Britain, they successfully ruled India for many years. India is famous for its spices, pearls, silk, gold and etc. Did you know that southeast land is very fertile? The land which is in southeast is very fertile land, same as in India. India was famous for its spices. So spices were at great demand in Europe. They were at great demand in Europe. Now who was controlling this trade? How the spices, gold, these pearls, they are reaching in Europe? Through Arab countries. Who was controlling this trade was basically Arabs. They export silk, spices from India to Europe. Now to get more profit, European countries, they started searching sea route to enter in India. These European countries, they started searching sea route to India. Now who discovered sea route to India? Your first question. Sea route was discovered by Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama in 1498. In 1498, Vasco da Gama, he discovered sea route to India. He landed at Calicut. Now where is Calicut? Calicut is in Kerala. He landed at Calicut. Gradually, the Portuguese, they established political power over the areas like Calicut, Goa and Daman and Diu. Calicut, Goa and Daman and Diu. Meanwhile, other European countries also, they wanted to come in India. And soon after this, Dutch, French and British. Soon after this, Dutch, French and British, they also came to India. Dear students, this time I have added few questions in this video. After some slides, there are questions. Recapitulation 1, recapitulation 2 and final recapitulation. So you are advised to listen the video very carefully. In that case only you will be able to give the answers for those questions. Okay, so let's start with this slide. In 1600, a group of 100 merchants of London, they took permission from Queen Elizabeth to form British East India Company. Now why to form British East India Company? Because earlier, as I told you here, only Arabs were controlling the trade. They were taking the things from India and they were selling it to the Europe. Now once the sea route is discovered, then the Britishers, 100 merchants of London, they took permission from their Queen Elizabeth, to form a company in India. Why? To gain more profit. What is the name of that company? British East India Company. Now the company, they received permission to trade in India from Mughal Emperor Jahangir. They took, to establish a country, they took permission from their country, from Queen Elizabeth, that they want to establish a country in India. She gave permission. Now in India also they should have somebody's permission so that they can do trade. So here they took permission from Mughal Emperor Jahangir. After getting permission, they set up big godowns. They set up big godowns to store the goods they traded in. They started with Surat. Let me mark it for you. They started with Surat. Later they established trading center in Bombay and then in Chennai. So these are the three places where they started their trading center: Surat, Bombay and Chennai. French also, we already studied that French also were there, Dutch people also were there, and British also. French also, they set up their trading companies and they established their center in Bengal and in Pondicherry. Bengal, Chandragarh and in Pondicherry. Their trading centers. The question can be asked like, name the centers established by French. So the answer will be Bengal and Pondicherry. Now students, we studied that Dutch, French and British, they came to India for trade. But British, they did not like Dutch and French. They fought with them and they were defeated by the Britishers. Now who is the major one? Who is the main one? That is British. In the beginning, the Britishers, they were interested only in trade. But soon they started building big forts and then they started maintaining armies in the name of protecting their godown. What they did? They started building the forts and then they started increasing the manpower, the army. And when some ruler asked why they are doing so, the answer was they are just increasing the armies because they will protect their godowns where they store their goods. Students, this is your recapitulation 1. So there are 4 questions. Students, you either you write in the comment box or you can WhatsApp me the answers. Write it on a paper and you can WhatsApp me or write in the comment box. Number 1, dash things were in great demand in Europe. Number 2, who discovered sea route to India? Number 3, 100 merchants took permission from whom to form what? Which company? Name of the company. Then who were the first to set up trading centers in India? Student, if you don't know the answer of these 4 questions, it means you did not understand the previous explanation. I advise students to listen the explanation again if it is not clear. Okay, next topic is Battle of Plassi. This is very important topic, Battle of Plassi, because it is there in your grade 8th also. It will come in your grade 8th also, the Battle of Plassi. So whenever in a history we study about a battle, there are 5 important things which you should know. First is, when did it happen, where it happened, it was fought among whom, what was the reason and result. If you know these 5 things, it means you are clear about, the topic is totally clear. Now the same for the Battle of Plassi. When did it happen? It happened in 1757. Where? At Plassi. Where is Plassi? It is in Bengal. Then it was among Sirajudaulah and British. Sirajudaulah. Who is Sirajudaulah? Sirajudaulah, he was Nawab of Bengal. Bengal in those days was ruled by Nawab Sirajudaulah. And what was the reason of the battle? Why Sirajuddaula, Nawab of Bengal, had fight with Britishers? Because Nawab asked the Britishers not to build houses, not to build forts. As I told you in the previous slides, that Britishers, they started building forts. They started maintaining armies in the name of protecting their godowns. So Nawab told them to stop. Nawab asked the Britishers not to build forts and to remove their troops. Troops means soldiers. To remove their troops, to remove their armies. But Britishers, they refused. They refused to do so. So this was the reason of their fight. And not only this, yes, Nawab Sirajuddaula told them to pay taxes also. Now what was the result of this fight? Who won the battle? The Sirajuddaula, he lost the battle, and Britishers, they become very powerful in Bengal. Students, if we talk about this battle, let me tell you one thing, that Sirajuddaula had a large army, whereas Britishers, they had small army. They had less army as compared to Sirajuddaula. SD, I am writing for Sirajuddaula, and B for the Britishers. Sirajuddaula, Britishers, they had less army as compared to Sirajuddaula, but still Britishers, they won the battle. They won the battle. So more detail will come in your senior grades. So now your concern is, our chapter is limited to this only, that where was the battle, when was the battle, it was among whom, what was the reason, and who won the battle. Students, our next topic is injustice of Britishers. How the Britishers, they did injustice with the people in India, with the farmers in India. So this we will study with the example of indigo. What is indigo? Indigo is that plant which produces a blue color dye. Plant that produces blue dye is called indigo. This is a plant. Indigo plants looks like this, and it produces this blue color, and this blue color was in great demand in Europe. People were liking it. So as the demand will increase, the prices will also increase. So once the prices will increase, the production also need to be increased. Same way Britishers did. Britishers, they were interested only in making money, and then they forced the farmer of Bihar to grow indigo, where the farmers of Bihar, they were not ready to grow. They were not in favor to grow indigo. The reason, once the indigo is grown, then afterward the land cannot be used for any other crop. It cannot be used for rice, it cannot be used for wheat. Actually, indigo is a kind of a plant which needs very fertile land. It prefers fertile, well drained soil, moderate moisture, and proper sunlight. The basic things which a land that indigo plant needs to grow is preferable fertile land, well drained soil, moderate moisture, and proper sunlight. So this was the reason that indigo was grown in India. Now the farmers of Bihar, they were not ready to grow. What they needed? They needed food grains. They need rice which they can eat to feed themselves. Indigo will not feed themselves. It is a dye. And moreover, once the land is used for indigo, for growing indigo, that land cannot be used to grow food grains. But the Britishers, they were forcing, the British planters were forcing farmers in India, farmers of Bihar, to grow indigo and sell them at a low price. See, to grow indigo, farmers, they were taking loan from the Britishers only. Now see the drawback. They are taking loan from Britishers to grow indigo, and then Britishers are taking back indigo from them, but at very low price. So this was one reason that farmers were against the Britishers. Once the farmers, they took loan, they could not repay it due to the high rate of interest. This was the one reason that then they stopped. They were against to grow indigo. As a result, what happened? The Indian farmers, they become very poor. Then the weavers were forced to sell their cotton at a very low price. Students, what we are studying here, that why the people were against the Britishers. The weavers here, the farmers, Britishers were forcing them to grow indigo, which was of no use. These farmers were against. Then the weavers. Now, why the weavers were against Britishers? The weavers were forced to sell their cloth at a low price. Now, Britain did not grow cotton due to cold climate. Britain cannot grow cotton in their country. Did you know in India, more than 33 types of cotton clothes are available, cotton varieties available. So Britain did not grow cotton due to cold climate, but they had big, so this is mistake, it is nig, it is big. So they had big cotton textile mills which required cotton. They cannot, see students, Britain cannot grow cotton because of cold climate, but they had cotton textile mills. Now they have mills, but from where cotton will come? Cotton will come from India. So the cotton was brought here at a low price and then sent to Britain. In return, cloth was shipped back to India. Now what they are doing? Britain, they are taking raw material, as a raw material, cotton from India at a low price, and then they are sending it to Britain. Then they make cloth in their textile mill. After making cloth, they are shipping back to India. Now see the process. From India, cloth is from India, raw material cotton is going to Britain, right? Then here they are making cloth. They make cloth. After making cloth, again it is coming back to India. Now when they are taking cotton, the prices are very low. Once they made a shirt or a cloth, then they shipping back to India, but here the prices will be very high. So in this way they make money. And the Britishers, they did not allow Indian to start their own mills or factory. They did not allow Indians to make cloth or to make their own factories. So this is your recapitulation too. Number 1, who was the ruler in Bengal in 1757? You must be remembering the Battle of Plassi. Then who lost the war? Battle of Plassi. Then who fought the Battle of Plassi? Who was there? It was among whom? Then the Battle of Plassi took place in which year? These are the 4 questions. I want answers. Write it in comment box or send me on my WhatsApp number. Doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse is a kind of a policy started by the Britishers. What does it mean? If a king died without a natural heir or a son, his kingdom would be taken over by the Britishers. What does it mean? Suppose a king died and he did not have son. In such cases, Britishers will take their kingdom. Now one such case is of Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani Lakshmi Bai, on the death of her husband, Rani Lakshmi Bai declared their adopted son Anand Rao as the successor of late Raja. Rani Lakshmi Bai did not have any child. So he did not have any son. So he declared her adopted son Anand Rao the next successor of her kingdom, that he will be taking care of the kingdom. But under the policy of doctrine of lapse, Britishers did not allow Rani Lakshmi Bai to do so. So what the Britishers did, the British authority, they took over the state under the terms of doctrine of lapse. This was the one reason that people like Rani Lakshmi Bai and Rani Lakshmi Bai, they were against the Britishers. Next is, you can see this image, this is the rifle. A new rifle called Infield Rifle was introduced. Students, the revolt of 1857 is called the first war of independence. Right? It is very important landmark in our history. In this chapter, there is a very important story about Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey was an Indian soldier in the British Army. He is known as one of the famous freedom fighter. So let's come here, that revolt, the new rifle which is called Infield Rifle. See the image, this is that rifle. It was introduced in India and one rumor spread. Which rumor? See, this is the cartridge. A rumor spread that these cartridges will be loaded in the rifle. But the rumor spread that this cartridge is greased with the fat of cow and pig. So what was the rumor? A rumor spread that these cartridges were greased with the fat of cows and pig. Now you see this image. See this man, the soldier, he tears open the end of the cartridge with his teeth. So it means that soldier has to open the cartridge with his teeth. And there was a rumor that these cartridges are greased with the fat of cow and pig. And the students, what was the issue with it? The Hindus and Muslims both were in the armies. Where Hindus, they regard cows as holy, and Muslims, they regard pigs as unclean. Pigs, they are forbidden in Muslim religion. So both Hindus and Muslim, they were against using this rifle. They denied, they were against using this rifle, and this rumor hurt the sentiments of the soldiers. This was the one reason that they were against the soldiers also, they were against the Britishers. Now this revolt started at Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. This revolt started at Meerut, and soon it spread to the other parts also. Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. Let me write it for you. Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so next is, this is important, who declared as the leader of this revolt, 1857. This revolt, Bahadur Shah Zafar. This name is very important. Who was declared as the leader of this revolt? Bahadur Shah Zafar. And there were other prominent leaders like Tantia Tope, Nana Sahab, Kubar Singh, Liaquat Ali, Rani Lakshmi Bai, and Begum Hazrat. These are the prominent leaders which were involved in 1857. Now, but the Britishers, they had better trained soldiers. Although these were the prominent leaders, including Mangal Pandey and all, but still Britishers, they had better trained soldiers and they had superior weapons. Moreover, the Indians, they were disorganized. So this was the one reason that revolt 1857 was a failure. Due to the lack of communication facility, the leaders, they could not spread this revolt among the people. So the revolt did not spread to the wider regions of the country. This was the one reason that this revolt was a failure. But still, it created an urge among the Indians to be free. Now, next is suppression. Suppression means to stop, dabana. So many Indians, they were executed or they were sent to jails just to spread the movement, to spread this feeling that Indians, they need independence, they want freedom, to spread this thought. Many Indians, they were executed and they were sent to the jails. Same way Bahadur Shah Zafar also, he was exiled to Burma. Exiled means Desh Nikala. He was thrown out from the country. In the process, the East Indian Company also came to an end. With this process, British East Indian Company also came to an end. And this is the end of the chapter, that revolt 1857, it created an urge among the Indians to be free. After 1857, after 100 years, in 1947, we got independence. So this is called the First War of Independence, 1857. This is the end of your chapter, your explanation. Next is your final recapitulation. Students, to write it in the comment box or send me on my WhatsApp number. Final recapitulation. Number 1, who was the leader of revolt 1857? Second, write 4 names of prominent leaders of revolt of 1857, which we discussed. 2-3 stories we discussed, and there are other leaders also. Then these are the true false. Revolt of 1857 is also called first war of independence. Then second, in indigo plantation, the British, they helped Indian farmers a lot. Third, in the Battle of Plassi, the British defeated Sirajuddaulah. Students, if the answer is true, okay. If the answer is false, if you know the reason why it is false, please write that also. Thank you.